Welcome to another episode of Misc Mondays with,
Yay.
I don't know why where did I get music? Are you playing music? Where am
I
I?
don't think so.
I just randomly hear music now. Oh, this is fun. This is the random stuff about live streaming is when music just randomly starts and you're like, I mean, it's pumping music, but oh, I bet it's this. No, I have no idea what's playing it, but you know what? I will figure this out as we go. But it's Misc Monday. So
Mhm.
welcome to Misc Monday and yay. Uh this is Laura and I'm Jen
Hi.
and this is the best part about Misc Mondays is it could be all the random things, especially when I can't do an intro because music randomly plays in my background. Oh, I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
My Twitch was open in another tab and I heard the music and then I heard myself. So I think it was an ad.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
There
that
we
makes sense.
go. Yay. Yay. Figured it out. And Laura, do you want to tell them who you are?
Hi, I'm Laura. I am a developer advocate at Suborbital Software Systems, previously a math professor. I mentioned that just because it always ends up coming up. Anyway, um, I slept very badly last night, and because of Spring Forward, my entire brain's just like noping out on today, and I can't think of a single other thing to say. So you should probably introduce yourself now, Jen.
I mean, that's what I'm here for. And this is exactly why we do Mixed Mondays, though, because a lot of times it is Mondays are dreaded and there are can be a lot of brain deadness. I know that I had almost complete back-to-back calls until now, which my day started at 6 a.m. and it's noon my time.
Hmm.
So I had a lot of learning, lots and lots of learning. And
Hmm.
to introduce myself, I am a developer advocate at Ivan, and I am the host of where you probably might be seeing the show of Teach Gen Tech, where I, excuse me, my dog wants to interrupt in the background, where I learn about tech publicly. It's really embarrassing. It's super fun. It's very nerve-wracking and it's very challenging. Yet it's way cooler than learning by myself because that's not how my brain thinks. I like to be able to interact with people when I'm learning.
Hmm.
I'm gonna see while I'm talking if I can get my dog to be quiet. Um, and I also am the host of a podcast called Shit You Don't Want to Talk About. So basically, I learn live, talk about shit that's hard to talk about, and I advocate about learning about or data infrastructure. Ooh, that was a
Hmm.
pretty good short synopsis. We might finally be there.
Ooh.
Yes. And the fun thing about Miss Monday is sometimes we have topics that we actually want to talk about, and then other times we just show up
Yeah.
because Laura was the first person I started having uh more consistency of her being on the show. We
Hmm.
started learning, she started teaching me Python with Al Sweigart's Automate the Boring Stuff. And we tried doing that about every week. And it ended up about
First, it was
us.
every other week,
Yeah.
and then it was every week, but then it was still taking us like forever and ever and more evers to
True.
come because we kept going down rabbit holes. And so we
Mhm.
finally just said, "Hey, you know what? We're just going to have like rabbit hole day and Python
Yes.
day."
We should call this Rabbit Hole Day. Misc Mondays is Rabbit Hole
Mhm.
Day.
Yep.
And a lot of times I really enjoy the fact that we do this because it's a way to digest a lot of what we've previously learned, we've talked about world events, we've talked a lot about a lot of times I just tell Laura about things that I've been learning, if all else fails, which today was, I learned a lot about OBS,
Ooh.
which I think, because this has been a topic of
Mhm.
conversation on this stream specifically, I do believe that I will have OBS set up in the next couple weeks.
Mm.
I'm looking at getting some new gear. So once that's done, I think I will be set up. We will see. But one of my colleagues, Sebi, had took time to go through all of it with me.
Mhm.
And they have like this really cool document about OBS, and I'm like, dude, can we like add to this because it's really cool. So
Mm.
if it ends up being live, I will share with everyone.
Nice.
And we did functions on Friday.
Yeah, in Python. Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, I
And
have
it
something
turned
I can show
out
you.
that you knew a lot more about functions than you realized you knew.
I didn't realize the name function, what it meant, which is always a really fun thing of learning live, I would say, of and also like being self-taught is you don't always know that the thing you do has a name
Mhm.
or what
For
it
sure.
is named. I can show you what I've been working on this weekend because
Ooh.
this has been a interesting topic for us before. So,
Mhm.
share screen. I got a new website I'm working on.
Nice.
And the reason I show it is eventually these will all link into their own subdomains. So people, I don't have to have
Ooh.
3 websites to keep up with.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited. But at the moment, it is just this homepage, and this actually took me a really long time to get to this point. So
It's a thing.
yeah, I
Mhm.
I did not realize. So when you started, I feel like I know the answer to this, but it's been a while. When you first started getting into tech and learning like Python and stuff, did you ever think about going to front end, or were you just like, yo, I'm gonna go to back end stuff?
Oh, so neither.
Oh.
I never I mean, I okay, so I was as, a math professor.
Hmm.
I realized I needed to get a different job because teachers don't make any money.
Right.
And the most
Sadly.
obvious transition from math into tech was through data science. So
And that's
not
actually
front
a
end and not back end.
and it's
Just no web
interesting.
actually. It's like just not web.
Yeah. Where
Different
in my
box
head,
entirely.
I would have totally thought that that would be considered back end, but it's not.
Yeah, yeah, because it like it what's it behind, so to speak. Mm, I mean, it like it's between. It's actually between front end and back end, except it's like between it in a totally different in a parallel universe.
I'm doing
Because
some
if
Googles over here.
yeah, like if you wanted to interact with like okay, so when folks are interacting with like Chat GPT,
Mm-hmm.
they're interacting with it through a website generally.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
website has a front end and
Mm-hmm.
it also has a back end. And what the website is like doing, I mean, I guess you could sort of consider that part the back end, but it's not just the back end of like the whole infrastructure. It's I
Mm-hmm.
would say it's in the middle. It's the meat of the sandwich.
Okay. I found a link. I shared it just in case anybody wants to look at it later
Mm,
on. Because I feel like it at least gives us a start into data science.
yeah.
And
Oh, sorry. It's also not the case that like all data science would even have a front end or like
mm-hmm.
a back end or whatever, because you might just be doing your data analysis on your own company's databases. And the
Mm-hmm.
databases would have a back end, but the databases themselves are not the back end. in like to my way of thinking.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because especially with launching the data infrastructure series, I get to like dive into like so much uh data. Data,
Mm-hmm.
all the data. What is the data? Which is
Mm-hmm.
very, very interesting. I feel like a new leaf has
Mm.
has grown, turned over. I think the term is turned over. In the fact that I don't think I ever would have gotten this excited about data before. But I actually am like very intrigued about data infrastructure, and I'm stoked about Kafka tomorrow because a big reason why is I've heard of like event driven and those type of things, but for some reason I just kind of give it a blank stare and go, yeah, that's a thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that does some things and stuff. Yeah, it just hasn't clicked yet. And I'm excited to have somebody on the show because this is, and you and I have talked about this many times, this is a big part about learning is it doesn't always click the first time you learn it,
No.
which is
Or
very
the third.
frustrating, which is very frustrating because I just want it to click. Yet
Mm-hmm.
that's a big reason I enjoy doing bus checking myself is because, at least others can learn along with me.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a follow up on this of
Mm.
what is a topic, if you're open to sharing with us,
Mm-hmm.
that took you a while to learn? Like and by I mean a while, like to even conceptualize the concept of it.
There are so many candidates for this.
Ooh, do
I'm going to
tell.
go with the one that I used to reassure my students, which is that I was a math professor who took calculus 1 3 times.
Okay. I don't think I've ever taken calculus.
Mhm.
I think the highest I ever got was algebra.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I found out that I this took quite some time. Of I love learning. I hate school. So I did not make it very far in university or college.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I love school when it's built for me.
Oh, that's a good one. And Fakai just said functional programming is slowly starting to click for them. It's been
Mhm.
a long time in the learning process.
Mhm.
Now I'm just going to go Google what is functional programming.
Yeah, yeah, that's one that I've looked into. And that's taking a while to click for me too, for sure.
I'm copy and pasting a uh, a copy paste of it. Functional programming is an approach to software development that uses pure functions to create maintainable software. In other words, building programs by applying and composing functions. So we just basically talked about it the entire time on Friday.
Sort of. So I'm trying to remember what's the um I'm getting stuck on like there's a binary declarative programming versus imperative programming, and then there's functional programming versus, and I'm trying to remember the term for like what's the other half of the binary for functional programming versus.
I don't know. Let me see what Versus comes up with. Object oriented
Okay.
is
Yeah.
what it's coming up with most,
Hmm.
which
So
let's share this lovely. Hopefully, it's lovely. I haven't read through it, but there is a Medium
I know
post on it.
that Cassidy Williams, Cassidy is big into functional programming,
Mm,
and she always has nice
okay.
explanations. I'm sure that the one that you just found is perfectly lovely. I
It's
just
from
want to see if I can
2019, so it's a little outdated.
find. Okay.
I think that's definitely something that, um, and thank you both of you for sharing just like some things that you got stuck on because it's definitely, I think that's one of the hardest parts about changing industries is switching or like having to understand new concepts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like after you can like understand the concept, you're like, yo, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
But before that,
Okay,
no.
here's one of Cassidy's. Oh, I should paste it in Twitch and on StreamYard. Oh no, I should paste it. Wait, how does this go again? No brain
Paste it
again?
in StreamYard, and then
Okay.
it'll go to all three.
Okay, okay. So the exact
Q
opposite
and my
of what I
YouTube.
was thinking, which is awesome. Um,
Yes, because once I get OBS working, I can only stream to one spot,
oh,
which is
why
going
am
to
I
be
getting it as
interesting.
a Twitter link? That's so annoying. Twitter,
Yeah, yeah.
come on.
I will say, like, as we have people joining, and thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Is there any questions that y'all had for us? Because Misc Mondays definitely don't need to be just about what we come up with. It can
Mm-hmm.
definitely be what y'all want to talk to us about. Or we can always have them as being very short because we at least kicked off Monday hanging out for a hot minute, and that's always fun. So it's very easy, go with the flow. I just want to since we don't have conversation this day today, if anybody else has some.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the difference between so you've got object oriented and functional programming, and the thing that I get stuck on is that you still use functions in object oriented programming. It's just not everything is a function. So in object oriented programming, everything is an object, and in functional programming, everything is a function, but you can still have functions in object oriented programming.
I'm still just
So
stuck on the really pretty artwork.
yeah.
Oh, this is cool. This is definitely something worth checking out. I
Hmm.
I would say, and this is the way my brain works, especially after so many meetings in the morning, of I love that one thing that you and I have talked about, and then Fakai just said, and you can still have objects in a function style.
Yeah,
How
that's what I figured was that it was going to go both ways. Just for
Fakai,
extra
how do
confusion.
you explain it? How would you explain this to someone?
Me?
No,
Oh,
Fakai. How do I say your name? I do this every time. I
I
feel
would
like
have maybe said Faki, but I don't know. I have absolutely no reason to think that I am saying that correctly.
okay. Well, I was going to say that one of the things that I really love about doing streams with you and meeting more and more people in tech is that makeup is a thing. It makes me
Makeup?
happy. Yeah, makeup. Yeah, makeup.
Makeup in what context?
That there's more people that wear makeup.
Oh, like literally cosmetics. Okay.
Yeah, like literally cosmetics,
Mm-hmm.
not like
Yep.
markdown. And you don't mark down and make up. Makeup and mark down.
No,
Oh, that would be a really good stream name.
that totally is a really good stream name. Oh, we're gonna do another stream now, aren't we? We're gonna have a DevRel um stream called Makeup Markdown. I'm gonna
I
have to
don't know.
rename our makeup
Miss Monday.
DevRel group on Mastodon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, um, well, thank you, Fakai. And functional style is a big field, but the of it is like use an array dot map instead of imperative style for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I dig it. I dig it. I feel like there's so much to learn out there in the world.
Totally.
I started an Asana board and called research, and every time I just keep adding stuff to this board to research. It's
Mm-hmm.
never ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know. Ooh, there's more. Yay.
Oop, I
Ah.
think we both clicked it at the same time.
And right, lots of small functions that do just one thing out without side effects instead of a couple big objects. Bonus points if your functions take other functions as parameters or returns new functions.
Mhm. And that's where it, like, because when you so Python is an object-oriented programming language,
Hmm.
and, when you are learning how to write production level Python code as opposed to just, "This code does the thing that I want it to do,"
Hmm.
when you're making it better,
Hmm.
um, a big principle, I mean, really with any programming language, a big principle generally is to write really small functions that do exactly one thing,
Hmm.
and then without side effects, and work up, from there. Like, I learned that, in my CS1 class, which was in C++, which is not, it's very far from Python, um, but also has objects. So, like, it's still there's so much overlap between philosophies,
Hmm.
and also declarative programming versus imperative programming. And so I think functional programming is maybe jives a bit with declarative programming, but it's not exactly declarative. It's this it I am too tired for this today.
I was just about to say, I'm not quite computing what you're saying, but I do think it is something that we are definitely, we're a little out of it today. I feel like we
Mm,
both are. And maybe it's daylight savings. Maybe it's just getting into a new, time because we are streaming. We just started streaming later than we normally do.
except it's earlier than it's supposed to be because of
Yeah,
spring forward.
yeah,
I
yeah.
hate daylight savings. I hate it.
I agree. I agree. And really confusing is Europe hasn't, I don't know how many other places in the rest of the world. I just have talked to a few.
Yeah, they're
My
2 weeks from
company
now.
is, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
because we moved. So we used to spring forward in April and fall back in October, but then we squished standard time on both ends. So now instead of starting standard time in October, we start it later. We start it in November. And instead of finishing standard time in April, now we finish it in March. So it just got squeezed.
Oh, and hi, Ian.
Hey.
We're Misc Monday-ing, but we're both a little brain dead. So our Misc
Hmm.
Monday-ing isn't going. I don't even know how to say that.
I don't know.
Um,
I think, miscellaneous Mondays, right?
yeah,
There are no rules. We're doing great.
no, no, there are no rules.
Doing
There,
great.
I am glad that we're, getting this out today because tomorrow's I actually need to be able to consume the content
Hmm.
of data, data
Doesn't
Kafka.
doesn't Ramon have it's like Captain Pat Pat or something where you like pat yourself on the shoulder?
I don't know, but I want to do that right now.
I want to say
I've
to
never
ping
seen
Ramon
it.
and be like, "Isn't that a thing?" Because I don't think I made that up.
Ian, I've been talking a lot about you and your lights in the background, in case you were curious. I will say there is something, especially because you two are Pythoners, you and Ian, of eventually I want to see how much I can automate on to get it to do after I stream something. Like I don't know if it's possible, but if I stream a video on
Mhm.
OBS, so it like downloads to my computer, can it then upload to like let's say
Everywhere else.
rev.com or something to translate it or to transcribe it and
Hmm.
then somehow tell my computer or something to put it on YouTube and also put it on a blog post to translate and embed the video. I don't think this is possible, but it'd be really cool if it was.
I think it probably is possible, but I have no idea how to do it. Um, oh, so Ian says, Oop. And he has OBS record his streams and upload to YouTube later, which also does transcription in various languages. Yeah, so YouTube does transcribe.
Yeah, I want to do it on its own, like almost blog post
Mhm.
with the transcription in there.
Yep. Yeah, you can get that in OBS. You don't have to upload it. Ramon showed us how to get
But
transcription.
that's closed caption
Yeah.
and it doesn't well,
There's a button.
there's a button?
Yeah, so that you can download it.
Oh, but it's still a manual process.
No, like when you set up the
It would auto download.
yeah, I think so.
I'm realizing I need to automate my life.
Right?
I do a
Yes.
lot of stuff manually. It took me, this is so silly. It took me like 3 hours yesterday to uh, create the graphics, write the write all of the like social media posts, then post on all of the social medias. And that took a really long time.
Mhm.
Oh. Chat does take forever. I mean,
Mhm.
if you want to join on the stream, we'll send you this the StreamYard link in. You're welcome to join us. Like,
Yeah.
you want to join this conversation.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that would
really
be
want to
awesome.
find a lot of APIs in my life. Is
Mhm.
to the point I'm at of there needs to be more APIs in my life.
Yeah. Um, I have been learning well, I have
Say it the
been
funny way.
preparing to learn, sorry.
Say it the funny way.
Yeah, okay. Wait, you mean the one that I wanna make a series for?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so I have been getting, NeoVim set up, which is a fork of Vim, with a better plugin ecosystem and some other, improvements. And I need to learn how to use it, and so I'm going to do a series of, I don't know, I guess probably both blog posts and streams, called and when you want to invoke NeoVim, instead of typing Vim, you type nvim, and so I want to have a series called Becoming Invincible, in which I learn NeoVim.
This is happiness.
Yeah, yeah. But today I'm tired.
Yeah, today we're just not computing life. Uh, alias. Oh, alias vi vi equals nvim.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Oh,
Vim is VI improved. So VI came first. And then Vim was VI improved. So it's
okay.
already like a cute name. Vim is, and then there's NeoVim. Yeah.
Oh,
There's also lazy Vim or lazy NeoVim NVim, or I think it's lazy NVim. Anyway, there are a bunch of these things. Mhm. Oh, yeah. So that alias that, um, what were you how were you saying it? I'm just gonna try to say it the same
Sakai.
way. Fakai, and just try to be consistent. So this would be like an alias that you would put into your, shell file. So, like, we, many streams ago, edited your, .zshrc, your Z shell,
Mm-hmm.
configuration file. So this is
Mm-hmm.
something that you can put in there. So I have various aliases in my Z shell, things that make it faster to, like, get to particular directories, or I don't have to type out like git checkout main. I can just type gm and stuff like that. And so yeah, you can alias it, but that file is local to your whatever your machine. It doesn't follow you to whatever machine your fingers happen to be typing on a keyboard that is interacting with. Um, and so you have to remember either you're going to have to adjust the Z shell or the well, like, this would work in Bash too. As adjust your shell configuration everywhere, or you just have to remember like, oh yeah, these shortcuts aren't going to work here because we're not in Kansas anymore, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not computing anymore, y'all. I'm blaming daylight savings. It's just what I'm gonna go with.
Daylight savings is the worst. I mean, okay, I try to like appreciate in my being that there are people for whom, okay, so you know seasonal affective disorder, right?
Mhm.
Where people get experience more depression during the winter. For me, it goes the other way. My seasonal affective disorder means that I have more depression in the summer and I feel great in the winter. Um, but it's interesting to me because I feel like we don't have any data on how people experience their seasonal affective disorder separate from standard time. Because there are
Mhm.
people who say like, "Oh, I don't like being on standard time because it makes me depressed," whatever. But it's like that also occurs when the season changes, right? So how do you know that it's the standard time and not the season? Control your variables. You know what I mean? So like there's that. Um but anyway, so some people like daylight savings even if they don't have seasonal affective disorder. They like daylight savings because they like having more sunlight at the end of the day. I don't, not only because I hate sunlight, not true, but like not only because I'm not a huge sunlight person in the first place, but because for me, like in the winter, I'll have an experience like, oh, the day's almost over. Oh, actually, it's only 5 o'clock. Yay! I have all this more time in my day. Versus in the middle of June, I'll be like, yeah, there's lots of time left. Oh, it's actually 9 o'clock. Damn.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That is something I'm still getting used to, because in Phoenix, where I grew up and kept moving back to, there wasn't a daylight savings. Like it just stayed. But the
Yeah,
easier way of
they stay on
saying it
standard time.
is that it would move time zones or and go to Pacific time half the time and Mountain time half the time. But technically, it stayed. And I think that's going to be it's hard because I've realized off and on again, I have been in Arizona majority of my life. So I've only been in Denver for 2 years.
Mhm.
That it's been really hard for me to transition to uh, daylight savings. And I don't think I thought of it beforehand of how much it really does affect me.
It's actually super unhealthy. The spring forward
Unhealthy.
in particular. There's really interesting research. So, because there's been most people say that they dislike the time change and they want to just stay on something all year. But it's, I can't tell whether it's actually a majority of people who want to stay put, whether they want to stay on daylight savings or whether they're just louder than the people who want to stay on standard. I can't figure it out. So there's a law that federally a state is allowed to decide whether they want to do daylight savings or not. You
Right?
can decide I'm not doing daylight savings, therefore I am staying on standard time year round like Arizona does.
Hmm.
But you are cannot decide I am going to stay on daylight savings time all year round. So there's been this bill um, sponsored by Marco Rubio in Florida um, to make it so that states can decide to stay on daylight saving time.
I've only heard of people that uh want to mm, just not change. Like, there's not one or the other that they necessarily want to stay on. They just don't want to change anymore.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Ian just post, the state has to prove that it will negatively affect the economy making the change.
And so Marco Rubio from Florida wants states to be allowed to say that they can stay on daylight saving time because there are a lot of golf courses in Florida and they want people to stay on daylight saving time because people golf after work, not before work. And so if there's an extra hour of daylight at the end of the day, they can make more money.
Weird. It's probably the opposite in Arizona and why they stuck to whatever they stuck with because it's too hot at the end of the day.
There's that. Um, it's also it's physically unhealthy because it fucks with your circadian rhythm to be on daylight saving time, and there's more cancer.
What are we on right
And
now? Are we on
we
standard time now?
just switched to in daylight saving time.
And this is the one we don't that fucks with you.
Yeah,
Oh, I like what Ian and Zen Hobb said. Uh, government bill that supports. Oh, wait, that's I forgot the first one, but I think that's like a very fair statement. Um, but Colorado approved a bill that only takes effect once the federal government decides to drop daylight savings, and then Zen Hobb instantly against because golfers want to do it. I don't blame you.
California has a bill. We approved as voters to stay on daylight saving time year round in 2018, but that only takes effect when the federal one takes effect.
And Fakai said there was talk about getting rid of it in Norway, but apparently there's a lot of dispute which time to make it standard +1 or +2. Because like the company I work for is in Finland, and I think they're +2. I vote that y'all go to +1 because then you're less hours away. 8 hours is easier to deal with than 9 hours. It's a round number. Um, that's a very silly reason why, but for some reason, 8 hours has been a lot easier for me to figure out than 9 hours. I don't
Mm,
know. Maybe just because it's less an hour. I
mhm.
honestly don't know if it's that or just because it's a round number. I
It's
don't know.
also exactly a third of 24. Like you can break 24 into three 8-hour segments, but 24 doesn't divide nicely by 9 is a thing.
I need to turn off my ads. Like
Whoa.
people get that they're like on there to like, help out and stuff, and that's why people subscribe. But
Hmm.
like I thought they would like run an ad like and ad. No, they run like
Yes,
five.
they do. Yeah, there will
That
be
is
several
not,
ads, and it's the same ones over and over again.
that's annoying. Like one ad is something. Okay. Well,
I hate Twitch ads so much.
after this stream, I'll go figure it out. I feel like I can turn off ads now. I finally got a job and people can subscribe. Like, it's been a minute, but I got a job. I don't need ads. But yeah.
Um, so there's interesting, like a link between cancer incidences and time zones.
I'm sorry I'm laughing because you started saying there's a link between cancer and there was a pause and it made me think Twitch ads.
Yep, Twitch ads cause cancer. You heard it here first on Miscellaneous Mondays.
So sorry, what you said is very serious, but that's not where my head went first. Like, I'm gonna go work on my Twitch ads to not cause cancer while, You tell us about what's going on in different states.
Yeah, let me see. I could share my screen with this, and that might be useful. Um, mhm. Is this gonna have like a nice map? Yeah, it is. Okay, and this is really what we want. Let me open this in a new window. Do.
Can you hear my dog?
Okay. No.
That's good. Let me know if you can. She sounds like a baby hippo
Okay.
or a cow.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So if anybody hears it, that's what it is. Oh, she left. No. Well, hi everyone. I'm still trying to find my Twitch settings to deactivate my um yeah, my ads. And Laura left. Yay, Laura's back.
I closed the wrong window. Brain is very tired. Okay. What was I gonna do? I was gonna share my screen. Okay. And that is, where am I here? I'm here. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we have this
Oh,
this map, and so what you can see. Oh no, this isn't the right map. This is a map just showing the time zones. Hang on, let me find what I wanted was the map that shows the incidences. Why don't they have the map here? Okay, let's try a different one.
I'm kind of just like leaving myself not on mute to see when you tell me you actually hear her.
I heard something just now. Do we have? Oh my god, why are you not showing the map? There was like a. Right, okay. So, people who live further west in a time zone, they experience fewer days with natural morning light, and that affects your body. And then that, come on, I want to close you so that I can open a different one. Is this one of the ones with the cancers? No. I'm sorry. Maybe we should talk about something else while I find this map because it's super fascinating.
Well, I would think that everybody probably stopped watching my stream because of my ads. So, I mean, I feel like we are just having a Misc Monday that is not motivational.
That's a whole thing.
This is why we do not call it Motivational Monday.
Indeed.
That is not our jam, which I am very grateful for because, yeah, yeah.
I'm so annoyed that I can't find this now.
Well, I can't find how to turn off my ads yet either. So between the two of us, we are doing great.
Yes. Good, good, good. Okay, so let me try by longitude.
Or maybe it's in here. No, no. Yeah. Plus, they only give me 11 cents. That is not worth giving everyone. Like, really, really annoying. Ads. This is not worth it.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go back to the same one that I linked to, even though it doesn't have the map, and that's really too bad. But let me make this bigger. So, if you are further west in your time zone, because like the entire time zone, you'll have more. The sun will actually set later in the day for you if you are in the western part of the time zone than you are in the eastern part. Like the actual light will happen. The light change will happen at a different time, even though you're in the same time zone, because the Earth is not actually cut up into those chunks, right? We made them up, is the way that it goes. And so the alignment goes wrong with the circadian rhythms. So that's going to be true like for time zones in general, but it gets way worse when you add in daylight savings. Um,
Good news, I think I got them turned off.
Woo.
No more ads. I don't know. We'll find out. If people get ads, please let me know so I can think I turned them off. Because that, and Fakai, thank you for telling me because uh 25, 20, and 15 is annoying. I thought it would be like maybe one, like let's say a 30-second one, but three in a row. And you can't skip them. They're not like YouTube. You can't skip them.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, our bodies are designed for standard time. Standard time meets our body's natural circadian rhythms, and daylight savings time moves it, and that actually fucks with your health. And so if we did move permanently to daylight savings time instead of standard time, we would actually have more cancer, more heart disease. All of these things would be worse because we would be permanently on the time paradigm that fucks us up instead of permanently on the one that doesn't fuck us up.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's bananas. There's,
It's not like it just gets better once you adjust. Like it's not like jet
yeah,
lag where it gets better once you adjust. You don't notice that your circadian rhythm is wrong, but your body knows. And so like over time, it increases your risk for various types of cancers and stuff.
the ad I got was actually an for a shampoo ad that they already use. I like
Oh,
that. That is,
nice.
I get a lot of those ads of things I
Mm,
already use, and I'm like, that's not. I mean, I'm not mad. At least I like that, but that doesn't help make you any money
yeah.
because I already use it. Although there are sparkly gold boots that I am not buying yet. I will probably buy them at some point. I wish they had sparkly gold Doc Martens. They do not.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm.
eventually. But I figured I live stream more than anything, more than in-person events. So I can't really justify something for shoes. If they were glasses, I feel like I could have like justified that one, rationalized it, but
Do
not
you
shoes.
have to rationalize having shoes that you like?
Yeah, I have a lot of shoes that I don't
Oh.
wear because I work from home and I never leave the house. Well, as we talked about, I leave the house when I travel,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, more of just like, and plus, I don't know if they're comfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could wear heels because they're pretty. They are
Mm-hmm.
very pretty, and I can't because they're not comfortable. So, okay, my dog is like yelling at me. Oh. I don't know why. She's an old lady.
I I used to wear high heels a lot. And when I stopped wearing them, I developed some foot problems from no longer wearing high heels because my arches are really high. And so um I switched like when I stopped wearing high heels, I started wearing flats. And so there was nothing supporting my arches. I also have extraordinarily wide feet. I have hobbit feet without the fur. Like, they're really not very long, they're almost square, I mean, not really, but, like, they're really short and really wide. Oh, I think you muted.
Oh no, I was muting because of the dog, but I'm
Oh.
over here laughing. Don't worry.
My feet are a size 7 in length and a between a 10.5 and 11 in width.
I'm horrible at sizes, so we're gonna go with that. Doesn't sound great, but yes.
It's a huge difference, like, that's all you need to know, right? Is that that's, like, 3.5 to 4 full sizes difference between the
Crazy.
length and the width. Um,
And an old
so
boss had to have surgery, hip surgery, because she wore heels for so long that when she switched to flats, it caused hip issues
interesting.
because
Um,
your calf is not as long as it would be if you were in flats in the front of your
okay,
leg, something like that,
okay.
and it affected her hip. But
Mhm,
I can tell you that I'm pretty brain dead for
mhm.
today, and I know we've been on repeat. So, other than Hobbit feet, anything else you want to cover today before we start wrapping?
No, I gotta wrap anyway, I guess, because it's actually almost noon and I have a thing going pretty soon.
Yay. Yay. Well, thank you, Fakai, for joining us today. And Ian,
Yes.
if you're still here, thank you for joining as well. And I am ready to go take a nap because
Mhm.
I'm really brain dead. And it's the perks of waking up so early to, work with people in Finland because it's really early there.
Mhm.
So, well, enjoy the rest of your day and bye,
Thanks, have a good nap.
everyone.
Bye-bye.